Long ago, when the world was being made, gods of the sun and clouds mingled with gods of the land and sea. Among them was a young and beautiful goddess named Vaimihi. When anyone or anything was hurt in her presence, she would shed tears, very strange tears, for wherever a tear fell, a beautiful flower grew. Vaimihi loved all things in nature, but had a particular fondness for birds. One day, as the god of the sun wandered across the sky, he saw Vaimihi and fell in love with her. Vaimihi thought him handsome and saw in him a bright, warm nature, so she too fell in love. The sun god many times asked Vaimihi to come with him to his home in the blue sky. "Where you will be safe and happy," he would say. But the little goddess loved her people and the many birds of the land. Her smile was happiest when she heard the songs of her feathered companions. But another god, the sea god, had also seen our little goddess and fallen in love with her. Vaimihi felt his nature was very cold, and he was no longer young. His hair blew about his head like seaweed from the coral reefs, and as he walked, great rocks and seashells were thrown about. Vaimihi feared him greatly. One day the sea god found Vaimihi in the forest and presented her with the most beautiful shell from his treasure chest. In a voice like thunder and the roaring surf, he said, "Come with me to my palace in the blue sea. There we will have beautiful fish to wait upon us, and many other fine things I shall give you." Vaimihi, frightened at his looks and voice, ran away. The sea god was so angry that for days the waves dashed upon the shore so hard that no canoe was able to go to sea, and fishing became impossible. At last the sea god, determined to take Vaimihi from the sun god, began to plan how best to steal away the goddess who had dared to refuse his offer of love. So one day he gathered thousands of gorgeous shells and made his coral palace a place of fantastic beauty. He then set about it a garden of priceless undersea flowers. When everything was in readiness, the sea god sent a little wave to catch a bird and carry it far out to sea. The wave waited till Vaimihi was near, then snatching a tiny bird from its nest, carried it far out over the blue sea. When the goddess heard the cry of the frightened bird, she rushed into the sea after it. Farther and farther the wave carried the little bird, yet Vaimihi followed to save it. Her tears fell fast, and soon a rainbow of flowers seemed to follow her out upon the sea. When at last she was a long way from the shore, the sea god arose before her and carried Vaimihi down, down, down into his palace at the bottom of the sea. So well did he hide her that the sun god never saw her again. For many days she cried, and the sea god took great delight in her sweet tears and the many beautiful flowers they produced for his garden. One day Vaimihi, in her great sadness, cried out, "I shall cry no more, only tears of salt shall I weep, and no flowers will live in salt water. Not until you set me free shall I again shed sweet tears, even though it be forever." And so the sea began to turn salty, and it will remain so until the selfish old sea god releases Vaimihi, the lovely goddess, from bondage.